platinum topped out, we've seen that coincide to those indicators right here actually signaling exactly the same things as we are currently seeing them signal. And that would obviously suggest we could see a bigger market downturn in the next few days, weeks, and months. If you have a look at the technicals, you have recently seen this breakout to below $2,000 at platinum. You have seen those massive structural levels actually being broken through. And you've also seen that breakthrough here at the RSI through this moving average here in yellow. And so those are obviously technical factors that you have to keep in mind. But to actually understand whether the upside or downside potential for platinum is bigger, we are going to discuss the most important macroeconomic factors in today's video. And so if you don't want to miss those videos in the future, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and like the video so you don't miss future videos, and also support us for our work here on YouTube. Thanks for your support. Now let's have a look at this chart here, the weekly chart of platinum with the gold to silver ratio, the DXY, and also the gold to S&P 500 ratio. And you can see those recent tops here. And for example, here in 2008, we've seen the gold to silver ratio actually with the DXY and the gold to S&P 500 ratio signal this top, because at exactly that top we've seen a reversal happening here at the gold to silver ratio. We've seen exactly that same reversal happen to the DXY from this weakening to this strengthening dollar. And in all of this time, we've seen gold actually strengthen against the S&P 500. And that is actually exactly what we've seen happen also here before this downturn happened in 2011. We've also seen that reversal at the gold to silver ratio, at the DXY, and also that strengthening gold against the S&P. Exactly the same things happened here in 2020 or previous to the COVID crash, just that the dollar hasn't really weakened at this time. But we have also seen that gold strengthened against the S&P 500, and also we've seen that gold reversed here against the silver in strength. We've seen that gold to silver ratio reversal happen again. And so those indicators obviously really show you what happened the last few times, and it also makes a lot of sense. In times of economic distress, you do see a flight to safety happen, which means that this ratio is obviously reversing. And you're currently seeing exactly the same things happen again. You've seen that massive surge here at platinum, and also obviously at other metals. You have seen that weakening gold to silver ratio, which shows you that flight to risk, or in other words, you had a risk on environment. We're currently seeing that reverse with this recent strengthening here, with this reversal that we've recently seen happening to the gold to silver ratio. And we're currently also actually retesting historical levels here at the DXY. If you just combine those recent lows with a trend line, you do have this upwards trend, this strengthening trend at the DXY, which is currently being retested. And so we might just see this actually to reverse at this point as well. And coinciding to all of this, we are obviously also seeing that gold is strengthening against the S&P 500. And so if you just have a look at this chart empirically, without any emotions, you have to have this opinion. You have to have this viewpoint that we are currently actually before a deeper macro correction, a deeper market crash, maybe even a global recession as we've seen it happen here in 28. Because you have to keep in mind that we are having those business cycles where actually credit is expanding and contracting. And exactly as this boom was actually fueled by this dollar devaluation, we are currently seeing it actually move to the other direction again, which is obviously coinciding to a deflationary crash. That means money supply is actually contracting, credit is contracting, more money is paid back than is borrowed. And so obviously you do see that flight to safety with this gold price actually currently also crashing, but obviously crashing less than silver. Therefore, gold is strengthening against silver. Therefore, we do see that reversal happening here at the gold to silver ratio. We do see that that crash happening also here to platinum. We've seen that top here at around $2,800. We're currently having that big decline here to below $2,000, and we are having this support here, but obviously that is just a support level and not a massive barrier. And concerning those macroeconomics that we've just assessed, you do obviously have a lot of downside potential still being here at this point. You have not really seen a deep crash as happened here, for example, in 28. And we do believe that that equities are deemed to crash next, and therefore we will see a lot of capital obviously flying out of markets into the dollar. We do believe in a deflationary crash where the dollar is strengthening short term, as obviously credit is actually contracting. But at the same time, you have to keep in mind that could also see a dollar debasement happening, and so we might just see that actually lead to a inflationary recovery with QE and so on, following that short deflationary crash where the dollar is rising, and we might just see exactly the same things happen again as we've seen it here in 28. And so our scenario at Kronos is that we do see a deflationary crash happen in the next few months. We do believe that history is just about to repeat itself. We do have this empirical view of the data that we're seeing here on the screen. And so now as a Kronos, it is the likeliest that we are seeing this scenario to play out. We do believe it's the best to be a little conservative right now due to this empirical data that we've just assessed. And I think that is, and we do believe that this is a logical viewpoint. If you have a different opinion, please make sure to comment down below. Or if you have any questions, also do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something new and don't want to miss those future update videos, just support us here with a like and subscribe. And also check out our Discord server, which is also linked down below. Thanks for your support. See you the next time. Bye bye.